for right now, it's just a name, and and the reason I think that we wanted to do that is for all the reasons that we just discussed. We want to bring back that ethic of, this is Party Smasher Inc. and you know what you're gonna get when if in the future we decide to release things. It's like things that we give our seal of approval to. And,
right.
Because that's what we used to love. Back when we were in high school. Chances are, if you bought something that was on Relapse record, it was going to be awesome. It was going to be heavy, and it was going to push the boundaries of music. So you could, you were willing to take a bit of a chance on that. So that's
like you might not like everything, but you knew that you would like even two of those things on those Relapse albums more than anything you would see on MTV or the radio.
Right.
It was the only place to find anything, even if you still had to sift through 100 bands. It was still like sort of contained, you know what I mean?
Right,
there was,
right.
Or like Revelation Records. It was like you knew that if you bought, this Earth Crisis or Snapcase record, you might like, or Victory, whatever it is. Like you sort of knew they sort of cornered a market niche, and were able to kind of dig through that. And even though we don't exactly have concrete plans for what we're going to do with any, with the imprint. Personally try to avoid listening to a lot of things. A lot of people were like, and respectfully so, like, oh, the new Converge record sounds great, and I didn't want to listen to it until like I was on the plane flying home. Like I refused to listen to just about anything except like some of what was on the radio, because California actually has some pretty rad radio stations still,
really,
or just things that I don't hear on the East Coast. I was like, this is pretty cool, or just, I don't know. I don't really feel, at least during the recording cycle, I don't really feel like I was listening to much of anything outside of what we were doing.
Right. What about you, Jeff?
I listen to a little bit of everything, man. Like, one of my favorite artists right now is Jeremy Enoch, the singer from Sunny Day Real Estate.
Okay.
Unexpected. Yeah, but he's great, and you can't pigeonhole yourself with one style of music. You got to draw influences from everybody, and we'll maybe.
I almost find it disappointing that it's unexpected.
Right.
Just like, really? Like, what do you think? Do you think we just listen to like Suffocation all day or something? It's like, and I feel like there are people that that think that way, and it's not to say I don't think Blood Oath is rad, but like it's certainly not like even in my top 10 records of the year.
Right.
And it's things like that. I think that set us apart from other technical bands or math metal bands, whatever the hell you want to call them. It's because we do draw influences from a very vast range of artists.
Like I'm more influenced by like the clever creativity of a Blonde Redhead record than I am about like the sheer technicality of a Necrophagist record. It's like, on some level I get way more out of Blonde Redhead.
Right.
I don't get recognized in the street very much.
I don't really know if it's
even at shows though. Even at shows.
Yeah, I don't think that we're so big that it's like we can't handle that, And I think immediately, at least for me, anytime anybody comes and like tries to put me on that pedestal, without trying to say I'm not that dude, I for the most part try to like get down to your level and just be like, look, I'm just a dude, and I have no idea what you do in your life or like what you will be doing in 10 years. Some musician comes up to me and says like, hey man, I think your band's rad. I'm never gonna treat them as anything other than like how I would want to be treated by my heroes when I was that age.
Right.
Because I think Greg and I tell stories about like meeting Metallica and how rad they were, and just being like, that means something to me because like, you don't, without me telling you who I am, you don't know who I am, and I'm sure that when you met Tommy Iommi, who knows if he knew who you were and what you became.
Right.
It's probably not what a lot of people think. We're like I said, we're approaching 30. We're getting old, man. We're all professionals. We've been doing this, in some capacity for 15 plus years.
Right.
So I'm not saying like we're over it by any means, but you come, you play a show, you want to chill out after the show. Sometimes it's just like, this is our home. Like this bus that you're on, this is our home. And sometimes we invite people into our home after a show, and drink or do whatever, doing whatever they want to do. But at the end of the day, you know, we all get in our bunks and watch TV, or you know, just like anybody else.
And it's, you know, there's a lot of sacrifice involved. It's like, you know, as we're approaching 30, like, dudes are getting engaged, wanting to start families. You know, your relationships with your parents and everything changes because everything just becomes distance. Your friends, you know, it is a lot of like, man, I don't know, and I don't even know what to compare this to other than other people in bands, or maybe like,
Right.
or maybe like literally like a pirate ship or something. I don't really know, and it's taxing, but at the same time, like for that 1 hour a night, I love doing what I do, and you know, am willing to make those sacrifices. But there's nothing glamorous about like not showering for 6 days, being on a 1-bedroom rolling apartment with like 10 other really opinionated alpha males who all have their own problems that seep into your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like but you know, at the same time, it's like I love these dudes, and you know, I
Right.
can't imagine it any other way.